This podcast is brought to you by Most Valuable Podcasts, saving your day from boredom with the best podcasting entertainment.
Hello and welcome to episode 23 of Too Old to Game.
Is it really 23?
I don't know. I'm just making numbers at this point.
If it's really 23, then he'll want
How
to
do I know? I'm going to move right along and say, I'm your fear-filled host, Dave Oster. This right here is Mark Weber.
Dub them ease.
And the original man-child himself, Ricky Widmer.
What's up, guys?
And we're going to bring to you today some great time-wasting games during the Christmas season. We got a little bit of controversy around the Sam Raimi Spider-Man suit. And, you know, Sony coming out and just kind of tossing a nice admission that, yeah, we know single-player games are kind of our jam, and we're going to keep rolling with them into 2019. So let's get right into things. Ricky, you're the one who brought us the Sam Raimi story, so go ahead and let us know what's going around the universe.
Well, before we get into that, I have a special announcement we have to make right here at the beginning.
Oh.
Soapy Muffin. Soapy Muffin,
That's
our
correct.
newest
Muffin.
patron.
Thank you
at
so much,
the
Soapy Muffin.
$5 tier. I just love that name, too. Soapy
Yeah,
Muffin.
sounds delicious. Sounds like something you want to eat.
Would you eat a soapy muffin?
No, I would not.
No.
I mean,
How much would someone have
some
to
of
pay
those-
you to eat a soapy muffin?
A soapy muffin to me sounds like a sponge.
Like, I'm talking about a muffin that I just doused in Dawn. That's
is
what I'm
it
talking
Dawn?
about.
Because like there's soaps that smell really good.
I'm
And,
talking
I
I'm
could see,
talking like dish soap.
but
That's what
most
I'm
of those
thinking.
soaps will probably cause damage.
Well,
let's
internal.
say-
They
yeah.
might clean you out.
Let's say
Internal
in
damage, which isn't as bad as
in
external
this
damage.
universe,
Soap on the inside, it cleans
nothing
out your
harmful will
intestines,
happen.
right?
If nothing harmful
In this
happens,
universe, no harm will go to your body.
and it tastes good, does it taste
No,
good?
it tastes like soap.
Then I'm not going to hang
But
with
it's still got like the muffin to soap ratio. What are we talking here? Like, is it soggy with soap,
Well, it's
or
just,
is it
I
just
said a muffin doused in Dawn.
yeah,
Doused.
doused? Like, that's
Doused,
the
I'm
outside. Like
assuming is like
muffins
it
got
is.
delicious insides.
It is so
It's got
Maybe.
crumbly.
I don't know
and
if it got soggy
Are we putting
on
a little
the
butter
inside.
on the inside? Like, ooh.
Now we're getting really
Now-
into it. But
Yeah.
what you were talking about, I was thinking about this because one of the podcasts I was listening to, they had a fan kind of write in and ask, like, when are we going to get a Sam Raimi Spider-Man suit? Which I don't think we are, only because of, like, they talked about Insomniac Games has come out and said, just because we're not, like, you're saying, oh, we want the suit, just because we don't give you that suit doesn't mean we're not listening to you. Like, we hear you, but it kind of sounds like they can't because the bigwigs
They
like
heard
Marvel,
you, but
Disney,
they're not listening to
Sony.
you.
Well, that's the thing I wanted to ask you guys is the kind of general topic of just you have a developer like Insomniac Games where they're making the game, they're the ones behind the game, but the licensing is Sony with Sony, Marvel, and then Disney. They're kind of all working together at this point.
Things are not as easy as gamers might think.
Them
No.
wanting to promote the new stuff rather than an old Sony movie that came out years ago, should that be something that stands in the way, or should Insomniac Games be able to say, hey, this is what the fans want. Yeah, we're going to give you everything that Sony wants to push, like these suits that Sony wants in the game.
Right.
But we're also going to make this suit because it'll make our fan base happy for this game, and so that we don't get negative press on us. Because it seems like everyone is not going like, oh, F Sony. No, it's, hey, Insomniac, what are you not doing? Why are you not giving us this suit?
And, go ahead.
I just think that it's a lot of blame thrown at the wrong people because I agree with the fact that like Insomniac doesn't control their own destiny in this situation. They don't own the IP for the Sam Raimi Spider-Man.
They're just making the game.
They're just making the game. And look, they can make any suit they want to as long as it's original and as long as they own the rights. That's one thing where you get into like copyright law and like who owns the intellectual property for this kind of stuff. And as much as I would love to have the Sam Raimi suit in there, like I'm not mad at Insomniac for that. Like they're doing the best they can with what they got.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, exactly. And you're right. It is pointing the finger in the wrong spot. And that's one of the problems, too, when you really think about what goes into a game. Unless we're talking about this game that was made by one person in his, spare bedroom or parents'
I say you want to say
basement.
mom's basement. Just go ahead and get it out there.
And
They know
this
where
is
we
the
all live.
only person involved with the company. They did it. They made it. They released it. Cool. Unless it's that, games are much more complicated than that. And I'm sorry if someone feels like I'm insulting your intelligence, but if you feel like I'm insulting your intelligence, I'm talking to the person that's dumber than you are. So just assume that.
Remember, the average person is smarter than 50% of the population. Think how stupid some people are.
So you have the developers. You have the actual property. Who owns the actual rights? Did they make it? or are they basing it off of something else? You have those developers, like I said, you have the publisher. You have the console that they're going to put it on, or are they going to put it on PC? And then are they going to play by Steam's rules? What are they going to do? Not that Steam is having that many rules, but you might have something where a developer wants this, but the publisher says, yeah, but you can't do this section of it. And that's what we're really running into. It's seemingly. I mean, we're assuming that's what we're running into based on kind of the way they say it. But and of course, Insomniac doesn't want to like throw shade at the people that are helping them come out with this game where they made a ton of money off of. But what blows my mind with it is I don't see what the big deal is. Just let them have this stupid, this Spider-Man suit, because the bad publicity is worse than people saying, yeah, I want to watch that Sam Raimi Spider-Man movie again. And if they want to watch that movie again, cool. They're going to probably spend more time playing your game. They're going to talk about it with their friends and their family. Maybe one of those friends and family want to play the game too, so they go ahead and buy it. They post about it on Reddit, on Twitter, on wherever, and people are going to pay attention to that. Any good publicity is good. And if they're saying, yeah, but we want people to be focused on Endgame, we want people to be focused on Miss Marvel. We want that going on right now. We don't want people looking back. But these Marvel movies, and I know that this is kind of a different era here, but these movies all kind of connect to each other. If I watch X-Men First Class, it doesn't make me go, that was great. I can't watch Avengers because it's Marvel. So it doesn't matter. To me, it's all superheroes, and it's just all something that you're going to like. It's just taking a very kind of stubborn approach of, no, we don't want to do that. Future only. And not realizing the fact that it kind of does some harm.
Well, you're saying stubborn like Sony's being stubborn.
Yes. Whoever is putting the clamp saying, nope, can't do it, that person is being a little silly.
Zoidberg going on.
He said clamp.
Yeah, clamp. And that's not Zoidberg, that's the other one.
No, that's the
clamps.
Exactly, you'll get the clamps.
Dave did this, and all I think about is Zoidberg and his claws.
It's just, to me, it's a silly idea. It's just like, who cares?
It's fanboys whining too loud, and I think there's a problem with the sense of entitlement out of people right now, and it's.
Is it entitlement?
I do.
Okay.
I think it is because
the developer doesn't owe you anything.
Exactly. Like, look, you are at their will. Like, you can't demand things from people. I think this kind of goes across multiple games because I've seen it where the fan base gets so built up on like, we deserve X from you, and yes, there should be some expectations there, but it's not like they ever said, like, we're going to deliver Sam Raimi's Spider-Man suit to you in this game. It was never said. Insomniac never made any statements about this suit. Yeah. People always teased it and trailered it like it was going to be a thing for sure, because it's like, how can you make Spider-Man suits, like, a multitude of suits, and not include, like, the original one that was, like, the original, like, true to the comics Spider-Man movie. So,
yeah.
I understand that.
And I get where they're coming from, and I think that both sides can be a little silly. It's, who cares that they're not giving it to you? But at the same time, it's who cares about whether this is in the past or the future? Just give the stupid suit. It doesn't matter.
See, I don't see it as... Maybe I don't see it as, like, whiny fanboy, because the most of the stuff that I see is like, hey, this is a fan base that really enjoys your game.
Oh, yeah.
Really wants this one thing to be a part of it, to make it be a perfect game. And the exact tweet from Insomniac Games was, listening doesn't mean we always will do what people tell us to. We hear you. Hearing doesn't mean we always act or follow.
Yeah.
And the thing that I'm kind of thinking is, if this is something that people feel so strongly about, then I'll kind of go to a debate that you always bring up, Mark, is, well, how do you hurt them then if they didn't give you exactly what you want? Don't buy the next one. But guess what? The next one's going to come out when they make that sequel, and everyone's going to buy it because of how great of a game Insomniac gave us this time around. Like,
but if you don't buy it because of a stupid suit,
the way
you've taken it a little too far.
That far. Like, I'm not going to be like, oh, you didn't give me this, so I'm not going to buy it. The best way I've heard Spider-Man compared to last year was Spider-Man's The Horizon of 2018, where Horizon came out and it was like, oh my God, this game is awesome.
Yeah.
And at the Game Awards, at all the awards, it was like nominated for Best Game, didn't win any. Like, didn't win any of them. Spider-Man was the same thing, where you saw what it was nominated for. And I said it was my game of the year but like every big category, you had Red Dead, God of War. So like
There
you
were
had
just so many fantastic games.
these huge
It was just
games.
outshined a little bit.
Assassin's Creed as well. And I mean, that's to me where it's a great game. Insomniac made a great game. If they don't give us a Sam Raimi suit, it's not going to make the game a bad one in my mind.
It's not going to make the game better either.
If I had the Sam Raimi suit, that would be my
People
suit of
get
choice.
a level of joy out of it. Like
But
in
you
Spider-Man,
get more joy out of it, but it didn't make the game better.
is the game not better when people enjoy it more? Like
The game, it's not. The game's quality is not improved.
the gameplay quality
You
is
enjoy
improved
it
by me
more.
enjoying a game more. Yeah,
You enjoying it more has nothing to do with the actual game.
I feel
the
like
game
that's-
play, but
I
I'm
think
talking
they
the
go
game
hand in hand.
experience is better because, like with me, when I got the Iron Spider suit from it, that's all I wore. That's the only one I wanted.
you didn't care
because
about the
I wanted to
stats, the
feel-
bonuses to like
I
the
didn't
gameplay style.
really care, like because what you can do, and they made this fun was you can go into each suit and like, okay, I'm wearing the Iron Spider suit, but I'm gonna have the ability of this suit be in it. So it's like, to me, I was kind of like, all right, what's the
It's a
point of them
wishy-washy
having
answer.
the suits? But you could take any power from any
But I
suit
actually
and
think
put
that's
it to any
better.
suit.
Because
then
that way you can just make it. Yeah,
you look the way you
exactly.
want to, and that's honestly like the gaming cosmetics are the big thing this year. And like it's nice at Spider-Man you don't just go out and spend real life money, but like Fortnite's entire marketplace is based around cosmetics. Like that's you have to admit players want to look what they want to look like. And when when a lot of people in our generation think Spider-Man, we think of Sam Raimi's Spider-Man because that was like the first direct translation that hit really well of a comic book into real life live action. So like when I think Spider-Man, no doubt that's the first thing that comes to my mind is that version of Spider-Man, that Tobey Maguire, Peter Parker, that suit, like
Tobey Maguire dancing, having a good time in that jazz bar or wherever it was.
By the way, saw us Into the Spider-Verse last night.
They
Me
make
and
a
Ricky
reference to
and Johnny from our other podcast that also covers not sports, which is wonderful. Got to wrap each other on the show, and it was so good. And now I'm just like, so them suits. Which, are we gonna be able to get some of them suits in the next one?
DLC.
I would love to
That's
get
your
a
DLC.
Miles Morales suit
Oh
later
my god,
on.
it looks so good.
They didn't give you a Miles suit?
No, not in the actual game.
I'm
no.
surprised.
They'll DLC it though. Like
They'll
we've
DLC
already,
it or it'll be in the next
you know
one.
what? They can DLC a Miles storyline like Catwoman's.
Well, they
storyline.
have Miles in it.
Oh, okay.
So we don't know if he's gonna like come in
Sequel
the
or
sequel or
DLC?
anything.
He should get his own.
I think so.
You think so? His own game?
Yeah.
No, his own story.
Oh,
And-
so
By the
like
way, Into the
DLC
Spider-Verse,
story.
phenomenal movie. Go see it. It's amazing. I'm gonna steal the thunder. I don't know if you guys were gonna do the
We're
Rick and Johnny.
going to.
I'll just say, great movie. Go see it. 'Cause
Dave's
I won't
like,
be
I'm
on that show.
Dave's like, I'm giving my 2 cents.
I'm not
now.
on that show, so I'm gonna give you my take. But yeah, so it's one of those things where I think a lot of the game goes in. A lot of the player mentality is like, I want to be the superhero that I envision, and them giving you that ability to take the powers that fits the gameplay you want to play, but still look the way you want to. Like that's the ultimate. That's the best of both worlds. I think it's a compromise in some respects, but still, whatever. You don't want to
It
have one
always
suit be
sucks
overpowered.
in a game when you can change outfits and stuff. When the coolest looking outfit is not powerful.
It's just not practical. Yeah,
Yeah, and
I
you're just
know.
like, great. Now my character looks stupid.
That's why I love Diablo. Like they let you in Diablo 3, it's always like you transmog your stuff. World of Warcraft, you transmog your stuff to look cool, even though there's
the rule
something
is
And,
cool.
and just to give on top of all the suits that came with the game, the ones and DLCs that are in right now is you can get the Resilient suit for free just when you load up the heist. You get it. The Spider-Man UK suit when you complete the heist. Scarlet Spider 2 suit, which is also the DLC. And then Spider Armor Mark 1, Iron Spider Armor, and then the Spider Clan suit. So that's what we have right now. Like those are the only DLCs. But I'm assuming a Miles Morales suit either will be coming or a Miles Morales DLC will be in the game because you actually get to play as Miles in the game, but just not as Spider-Man.
Yeah, no, I think they're doing it right, and I think my closing thought on this is just that gamers need to quit demanding things from developers because not everything is in the developer's control. They might want to deliver you. They always want to deliver you the best game product. They want to give the customers what they want, but like there are limitations to what they can legally do, and within that respects, like what they can include in the game. So much as you want to, it's like fantasy booking in wrestling.
Yeah.
Like, would we love to see that match? Absolutely. But like, there's restrictions to what we can do. You can't go cross cross promotional, and we can't have New World Japan versus WWE, stuff like that.
Or
So
like way back in the day, like WWE versus WCW.
Exactly. So never in its truest form. So like I think that's sort of my takeaway from all this. But in a small twist of topics, I want to transition that into Sony talking about how they're leaning into the single player market, and it was an interesting quote that came up, and I'm reading this from pushsquare.com, and it says, "There's still a huge audience for games that offer the best single player narrative with stunning gameplay, as witnessed by the enormous popularity of both Marvel's Spider-Man and God of War in this year's charts," he said. Buzzwords are one thing, what our players are demanding is another. And that's kind of like a shot at Battle Royale right there. That's we know Battle Royale is popular, but look, single-player games have been gaming for the last 30 years. They're not dying off. Players want these engaging narratives, so we're going to keep giving it to them.
And I feel like the games that people talk about, like, yes, you have people that play Call of Duty and Fortnite and stuff like that, but the games that really make these big impacts a lot of times, I feel like, are the single-player experiences. They're not always the easiest to do.
Let me just put it this way, and this is my mic drop right off the bat. If we go back, and I'm using the Game Awards as the reference, Game of the Years, Assassin's Creed, single player. Celeste, single player. God of War, who won it? Single player. Spider-Man, single player. Monster Hunter World, not necessarily single player. Can be, but that's one where
you enjoy.
I had the most fun when I was with friends.
Absolutely.
Red Dead, up until the point, didn't have really
still
an
single
online.
player. Yep,
single player, where every game but one was a single player game, and that's the cream of the crop of the best game. The cream always rises to the top.
There you go.
That's my macho man, Randy Savage.
And really with this, too, when you think about the best game, if you were to say what is going to make a game the best game ever, experience, playability, replayability, the controls, storyline. Storyline's going to be in there. So you can get most of those things in a multiplayer game, but you can't really get that storyline component, because what's the storyline of... Well, there's a bunch of us. We want to keep going towards the center, because if we don't, we die.
Well, and it's not just that. Like, even a game like Destiny.
Yeah.
Where that had a story. It was a multiplayer game.
Had a
Well,
story.
no. I'm going to get to that in a second. Where, it wasn't a full game. And maybe this isn't the best example, but it's what I think of with me personally. Most of these multiplayer games that have that story to them.
Yeah.
I feel like with those games, I push the story to the side and I care less about it because I have that interaction. Like World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
Where, yes, there was lore. If you actually look into the lore, it's amazing.
It's so deep.
But with World of Warcraft, I was always like, click, click all past it.
Yeah.
Because I don't give a crap. I'm just playing with my friends.
Right, I don't care why I'm going to kill 10 pigs. I'm going to go kill 10 pigs. Like,
Where if I'm playing God of War, I'm immersed in that because it's just me. It's me immersed in that world, and I'm not with anyone else.
So let's make better reference maybe. And you brought up earlier, Monster Hunter World. That's a game that had a story to it. I'll say it was relatively shallow story.
Yeah, it sucked.
But it still got you, like, you were in the world, you were partially immersed, and when you did play single player, like, you're not just slamming your head against a wall, per se. It's more so like, oh, I'm going here because I'm trying to discover this, or I'm trying to do this. And I feel like that had closer to what you're trying to say there.
Early on, I enjoyed the story for it. After a while, it just kind of got like...
You were just like, let me go find the big bad and go murder this thing.
Exactly. That was it. It was like... And then, like, especially after you finish the story and you're like, really? That's it? Like, there's no real end game. Like, your end game is...
Keep on grinding.
Here's your gear. This is what you need for gear. Kill these monsters. Oh, you can do it alone. You can do it with friends. You can do it alone. You can do it with friends. Here's what you need. All right, bring them back here. Pound, pound, pound. Here's your chest piece. All right, do it all again because I need a weapon. Like, that's what it is.
The cats chopping up lunch was the coolest thing in that game. I'll still fight to the death. Like, that was the cutest thing. And that
I want
was
to say
always
the
in my memory.
Patapon, but that's not it. That's a totally different game.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of the... Let's see, Monster Hunter World cats. Because they had their own name. They're not really cats.
They absolutely did.
Palicos.
Palicos, yeah.
Palicos.
Nice.
Yeah, because you could make them look so cool.
You can make armor for them, too.
Yep.
But it's like, there was no end game. And that's what I feel like for multiplayer games.
Yeah.
you need a good end game to then make it better, and the story might be pushed to the side.
Let me pull something off of that, because I think that's an interesting comment. And you're talking about there needs to be an end game in order to have a complete story, but at the same time, like,
the story never ends.
The replayability means the story never ends. So, like, would we ever see a Game of the Year-esque title that's a true multiplayer experience? Like, obviously with Call of Duty, like, they even said, like, screw it, no story mode. Like, no one cares about this, which is funny, because I'm one of those people actually, like, I enjoyed playing the story mode for those games.
I think the last game I can think of that, if I'm not going to say, like, oh, if it came out now it would be, but World of Warcraft would probably be the last one I can think of where it was ongoing multiplayer game with a good enough story that was good enough to be
the
a
last
nominee
World of Warcraft that
for
was
best game.
At that level was probably Wrath of the Lich King, I'll be honest.
Which also,
I haven't
that's
loved
a DLC.
lot of the recent ones.
Like, that's not even, like, Wrath of the
Technically,
Lich King is technically a DLC to the original World of Warcraft.
So, it's interesting.
I think it's cool to see companies say, like, hey, we understand the importance of single player games, and you get that type of comment from Rockstar, even though they are very focused online. You get that type of comment from Naughty Dog. Like, you get all these companies that say, we get it, single player is important. But I don't really want to hear Sony tell me that, because I think, Sony, I know that you like single player experience. I know you respect that because
God of War, Last of Us, Spider-Man.
Exactly.
Like, you've got the games there already.
We've got the games, like Arby's, but with games.
Right? And, good.
They don't got the meats. They got the games.
So we need Archer to do that commercial.
It's
about
John
Sony.
Benjamin.
We got
Let's
the
get on
games.
it.
The best. Although I will say, I did buy their frozen curly fries the other day because I wanted curly fries.
They have frozen curly fries?
Yeah.
Like from the grocery store?
Yeah, from the grocery store. Yeah.
Do they hold up?
They're all right.
They're close
they're not
enough?
bad.
Okay.
They're good enough.
I'll take it.
Because curly fries really the only thing at Arby's worthwhile.
He's gonna get some today.
Dude.
You know that, right? You said
No.
You said a good enough to get him to be like, yeah, next time at Jewel. I'll
You take
get
that back. There are other things to get from Arby's.
Oh, no,
like
no.
The beef and cheddar, man. That was
runs
my
right
lifeblood.
through ya.
It does.
Ooh.
It does, but it's delicious.
But anyways, to talk more or less about Arby's, it's just Sony. I get it. Like, you work with so many great developers, whether they're first party, second party, whatever, that understand the story.
Yeah.
What I want is some of these people who've moved away from single player experience, do they see value in it? Or are they being like, nope, we want this. We want these multiplayer. And you need variety and everything like that, and that's cool. But I would love to see somebody else. I'd love to see, Activision say, you know what? Maybe that single player experience is worthwhile. Maybe we'll reinvest in that again. Because
is there a way to combine replayability with a great storyline?
Oh, totally. Because look at things like
Spider-Man.
Well, Spider-Man's a good one. Persona's an amazing one.
Ricky, it's funny you say Spider-Man. You literally beat the game and you handed it off to someone else to play it because there was nothing else for you to do in that game.
Yeah, at that time.
Let me take that.
No. At that time there wasn't.
You're saying DLC-wise.
But now there's DLC. There's DLC.
Right.
There's now
But should we count DLCs as part of the gaming experience?
So.
Because you should shit on Destiny. We've shit on Destiny 2 forever because they didn't release a full game.
But in Destiny, their DLCs was like, hey, I'm giving you. I always felt like their DLC was what I should have gotten. Where with Spider-Man, I'm feeling
you felt like you had a complete product at day one.
I had a complete story that I was
and
happy
the DLCs
with.
are just little nice packages.
Just in the first DLC, they're giving me a story called The Heist. That's a full DLC story. They're also giving me.
Is that like a 2-hour experience, or
even if it's not, they're also giving me the now gave me a harder difficulty that you can now do it, and they have the new game plus as well. Where I know Batman did the same thing with that, but they're giving me new game modes along with a DLC package. They're also introducing, like in the second one, Turf Wars. They give you new suits. Like, I think they're doing it right. Whereas Destiny, it was like, here, we'll give you 25% of the game. You'll get the rest of it, but you got to pay us more money.
And you got to wait for it, which was the worst part, was the timing of that release. It was like, great, I beat the game regular player, or single player, basically. hit end game, and then it's like, what do I do now?
I'm going to go back a little bit to a game that I guess is a little bit older now.
Yeah.
I think it's almost like 2 years old now. But Persona 5.
Yeah.
And Persona games do this fantastically. Atlas is great with this. But they have great replayability in there. It's a new game plus, but they let you carry over a lot of your skills. And if you are someone like Ricky who does care about achievements, you cannot get all of those achievements on your first playthrough.
I like
that. You
that.
have to go back and get them a second time. And it's not just this time I'm going to play on a harder difficulty. It's just that there are certain things where you had to do both things at the same time, and it's not possible.
Yeah, like in God of War, hey, I got to kill Odin's ravens.
Yeah.
And they're like scattered throughout the... You might be walking and you'll see one where it's like, hey, I was worried too much on the main story. I didn't get them all. I can get them all this time.
This is more of a you literally cannot
it's
do
not
both
achievable.
things.
Yeah. Choice based.
Yeah, exactly. So you have to go in different directions with things. So I mean, there's great replayability with these single player games, and the replayability for a multiplayer game is different than what replayability means for a single player game. Single player means there's a reason for me to go back and play it again. Which is the same thing for multiplayer, but multiplayers is more of I'm going to get more loot. I'm going to, keep prestiging. I'm going to just keep playing this because a team deathmatch does not change the first day I play it compared to the last day I play it. It's still the same basic
but it's
experience.
a different environment because of the different people interacting with you.
Exactly.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's good. I think it's good that we've kind of fleshed out like the differences between like what that really means for single versus multiplayer, because it's one of those areas where I would love to get, like you said, a truer storyline somehow to push through into a multiplayer game. So I don't know. There's a lot of potential there for stuff like that to happen in the next year. And we'll dive into that maybe next week for 2019 games.
Well, and what's funny is Mark brought up Activision. Now, I brought up some of their games just from... because I have them release date newest first, from, let's say, Infinite Warfare, Crash, the Insane Trilogy. That's a remake. You've got Destiny 2, online multiplayer.
Sequel.
You've got World of War 2, Call of Duty.
Yep.
Then you have Destiny 2, Forsaken.
Yep.
Black Ops 4.
Yep.
And Spyro. The only two
Spyro's a remake.
Story mode ones are remakes of old PlayStation 1 games.
Yeah. So they know what works, they know what sells, and they just keep rolling it out with a fresh coat of paint every year. They do innovate some things at times, like changing the way like the movement is in the game, but still for the most part, they're not taking many risks here. It looks like they're just cashing in on we know what works. And that's I understand as a company you have to do what makes you money, and that's fair. But like I like to see some more risks. I'd like to see them try to do something a little more different, a little out of the norm. I do have now is a great time to say that I played Anthem. As we were talking, there you go. Yep.
And that's all Dave
I can say.
That's all Dave can say.
I played Anthem. That happened. And that's sort of my final thought on that general area of conversation.
My final thought on this is I played Anthem.
Yep. Has absolutely nothing to do with the conversation that just happened. Definitely not.
The thing I love most about it is legally cannot do anything
I can't
else.
say anything other than say that I played Anthem.
That's it. That's all you can say. That's all you can say. I played Anthem.
I just played
That's
Anthem.
It.
Yep.
Oh, man, that's funny.
So that's cool. But moving on into our primary topic, and one of them I'm actually excited about because Christmas is
those other two topics. Screw those.
Well, no. I like the other two topics because they're stuff that's going on, stuff that's relevant, and
Dave
like
needed to
the
warm
outcome.
up for this one. He needed to get all the practice.
But this one
out.
hits close to home because as a kid, this time of year was special. It's that beautiful time of year where you get to just spend ridiculous amounts of time playing video games. Like, yeah, it's supposed to be family time, when our family's around, great food's around, but truly, this is a time of year when you get to actually devote solid chunks of hours and days to playing video games. So I thought now would be a great time to talk about what's a favorite game you like to play this time of year when you have just oodles of time to dump into something.
Yeah.
Mark, let's hear what you got.
Well, I think first needs to be said that there was always the games that you got on Christmas morning type of a thing. I mean, you always, especially younger, get those games for Christmas and be like, awesome, let me plug it right in, we're good to go. And then, for my family, we used to host Christmas a lot. So like, they're like, all right, I got like 2 hours to play and then I got to help clean. So you jammed in what you could. But I always think when it comes to a time like Christmas break or winter break, whatever, if you still have it, if you're old like us.
I just took time off around Christmas. I'm just not working those days.
Yeah. You got to play something that doesn't necessarily have to be a series, but has a lot of them, is my thought. Like, I want to go through and play as many Zelda games as possible.
Oh.
Or I want to go and play as many Metal Gear Solid games in a row.
So you're going back.
Like, yeah, I'm usually, a lot of this is like, let me play something I've played before. And go through a bunch. Unless I got something that's like, I've been really, really waiting to just finally put in God of War. You know, I haven't gotten a chance yet, but I'm going to put it in.
You know it's a good game, but you just haven't had the time. You mentioned the Christmas morning, getting a brand new game.
Yeah.
And I just think back to...
Or you get a brand new system if the system came out.
Well, yeah, there is that. I was thinking back to the Call of Duty experience that one of our friends got Call of Duty. I forget which version.
He didn't even get it on Christmas. It was MW 2.
It was MW 2.
And
oh, my God.
He got it a few days after Christmas, and he was so bad that after the game, he was like, 0 for 37.
Nice.
And somebody was like, "Oh, I can see who got this game for Christmas," and he never logged back.
This is the last time he ever played the game.
He logged out on the spot and never touched it again.
It was the most impactful sentence I'd ever heard in my life. I was like, "Oh my God,
Christmas noobs are
that man has a family."
That's awesome.
It was.
To be honest, though, I felt sorry for him because like. His TV that he was playing on was one of those like old big screen projectors.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
And going over to his house, I hated it because like whatever you watched had a green tint to it.
It was discolored and it was old.
That's
and
awesome.
we were like,
you can't
now
play
we
games
understand.
on that. You can't play games on that.
Yeah.
Especially a game like Call of Duty where you need every effing detail that you can get.
It was honestly, it was one of the funniest moments of my life, but also like, I was like, oh, I feel really bad for him. Because like,
great.
he literally got that game to play with us and it was just like, and I'm never playing Skin. So
I mean, hey, I mute I used to just mute everybody else.
Get rid of the cancer.
We'd be in our own party. And
absolutely.
It's like when I play Overwatch. We go into our own party, screw teammates, right? I don't need to work with those guys.
Depends who you want to win.
I'm just going to work with the guys that I'm playing with.
Yeah,
I don't need to work with the other randoms. For me, it's all catching up on stuff that I bought that I thought I'd have time for. So finishing up God of War.
Yeah.
I have Mega Man 11 that still has not left the shrink wrap.
Nice.
Because I had Assassin's Creed. So I bought Assassin's Creed, God of War, and Mega Man all in one trip to Target.
I mean, that's a good purchase.
Yeah. Very good.
But you got to know that's a bad idea.
I'm
not going to play half.
If you have a job.
So I originally went in for Assassin's Creed. That was it.
Yeah.
And then I saw Mega Man. I was like, oh, it's only $20. Like, I can get this game. It's $20. Then I saw God of War, and I was like, oh, man. Mark and Dave were saying that God of War was pretty good. Like, maybe I should just pick up God of War. I'm like, screw it. I'm going to pick up God of War as well. So that's how I ended with all three. Went in for one. Came out with three. Assassin's Creed took forever. And that's not a bad thing. It just took forever. Like, over... I think I finished with about 48 hours of gameplay when I finished that story.
You got your money's worth.
But it was still just... I was like, oh my God, I can't get to God of War. So now God of War, I'm in the situation of like, I get to play, but then I don't get to play. And it's like I'm off for... Like, I went in yesterday or 2 days ago and played. And it was like, all right, where am I? What am I doing?
You have to kind of re-immerse yourself?
I got to recalibrate myself because I didn't know where the hell I was. And then like Mega Man hasn't left the shrink wrap. When I bought my new computer for Black Friday, I also bought the special edition of Red Dead. Have not jumped into that update yet because I bought that to play with you guys. And that's what I'm going to be doing this break. Finishing God of War, diving into Mega Man, and then finally getting into the Red Dead storyline.
Yeah. And with your jumping back on things, you know, I have two games actually that are just kind of sitting and waiting to be played. One I bought because it was cheap after, you know, basically nobody liked it. Mass Effect Andromeda.
I thought you were going to say Fallout 76.
Yeah, that's what I thought you were going to say.
Wow, it's not $10 yet. Once I get $10, I'll buy it.
Honestly, that probably won't be too far out.
Wasn't it 40?
It's 40 already.
Yeah, it's $20 if you buy a headset. Apparently. Yeah. And then actually, one that I really do want to finally make time to get to is South Park's The Fractured But Whole. I've not gotten to that yet. And it's just been sitting there. It's been sitting there for like a year, just waiting to get played one of these days. And the first South Park game, Stick of Truth, was so amazing. It was so great that I know I'm going to love it. But that's kind of one of those things where I'm like, I'm of the mindset of like I know I'm gonna want to just play that game and like beat it in a weekend.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I gotta have the time because I don't have the time, unfortunately, and I don't want to play it in tiny little sections and have it take me 3 months to get through it.
That's one of those games you want to marathon through. Just get the whole thing in one experience.
Definitely.
I love it. For me, I go back. I put on the way back machine, and I look at games that like I enjoyed the storyline and I enjoyed the gameplay together. And the one that strikes truest is Borderlands. Like I go back, I go Borderlands, Borderlands 2, Borderlands the pre-sequel. Well, I'm hyped because also like Borderlands 3 is coming out this upcoming year.
Dave's gonna buy a
Borderlands
VR.
Dude, I've looked at that thing like 3 times. I'm like, I want to watch gameplay before I buy it because I don't know if they did a good job porting it to VR.
Yeah.
But though that's a game where it's like the storyline's hilarious, the writing in that thing is awesome, but the gameplay is also like challenging to the point where it's like, okay, you beat the game the first time through on normal mode, and then you go into the Ultra Vault Hunter mode after that. You go up. I think it's Vault Hunter True and then Ultra. It's been a bit since I've actually beaten it all the way through, maxed out the level. But it's one of those games where it's like, you gotta love the shinies. It's all about the loot grind, but also you enjoy the story as you go, and you can challenge yourself, do fun builds, play on different characters. So each time through, you get a different experience. You get the online experience. There's actually still a decent community playing on PS4 and PC for Borderlands 2, and pre-sequel. Like, it's just a fun game for me, and that's I kind of lean back to that.
You know what I forgot about?
Yeah.
And I only had this. So I think we've mentioned before I don't know why you keep the box for the console, but you keep the box.
Yeah.
Discussion.
You mean like to the actual system?
the physical.
Yeah, you're not supposed to throw out the box. You're supposed to keep the box.
Yeah.
Why?
Still have
I don't
mine.
know. I don't know who invented this rule, but you're supposed to keep the box.
You're
So-
keeping your PS4 Pro though.
Well, yeah, because there's the outside. So the outside one I'm keeping because the artwork on it's amazing. The white box,
you tossed
yeah, it's gone.
mine.
So-
I kept it. I still.
Why
mine's
should
sitting in
I
my
keep
upstairs
that around
bedroom.
the house?
You're supposed to keep the
It's the-
box, Ricky.
It's the unknown rule, man.
It's the rule. You keep the box.
I'm with Mark on
In
this
case
one.
you move, you gotta put it
No,
back
you
in the
just,
box.
you
precedence.
just keep the
Yeah.
box.
Yeah, I think it's stupid.
important.
It's just like I was always the one where it's like, hey, take the figure out of here. No, you got to keep it so it's intact. Nope, screw that. It's out of the box. It's
Yeah.
my
Funko.
figure now.
Now,
Yeah.
I do.
Worth thousands of dollars
Those
now.
Funko boxes are
Yeah.
smashed in my basement because
Look
I
what
have them
you've
out of the
done.
box.
Thousands of
You
dollars.
can pay off
I
your
know.
student loans.
You honestly,
I-
I've got a friend who's really into Funko, and he does resell Funkos for $1,000
That's
plus.
insane.
I buy those Funkos for my enjoyment. Just
Well,
to
it's like
sit
when
on my-
everybody was buying the.
It's like Beanie Babies, man. Oh, Amiibos too, yeah.
And everyone's like, you got to get them because. And I worked at Best Buy at the time when like these were a big thing, and I'm like, should I be buying these? Because like we get them all the time. Like, should I be buying these? I brought this up though because of Borderlands.
Yeah.
I realized the other day I have a PS Vita. I love my Vita. I don't play it enough because it doesn't get enough support.
Yeah. Understandable.
But I forgot about the fact because I solely bought the Vita really to play Persona 4. And I didn't really think about the fact that like, oh yeah, this came with Borderlands like preloaded onto it.
Seriously?
And I completely forgot about that until I saw the box because at my parents' house I needed to pick something up that's in the basement. And I'm like, huh, I forgot that came, with it loaded on automatically.
That's a game I would love to get, like,
reminded me of it.
us three, just sit down and play Borderlands together. Like, it's just a game that you can go back to over and over and over again and have a fun experience because you've got your favorite lines from there. It's got amazing artwork. Even, like, I get it. It's a different style of art, so it's not, like, the visually stunning.
Yeah.
But it's unique and it's enjoyable.
There's a novelty to
There
that
is.
art.
That was
Yeah.
probably one of the only multiplayer games that I actually cared about the story. And I say multiplayer games with air quotes because that one felt like it felt like to me it was a single player game with the multiplayer around it. Like,
like
at
couch
the
co-op.
core, it's a
Oh
single
my God,
player
couch
game.
co-op stuff.
But hey, I can play with Dave online.
If we could
in that.
find Champions of Norath again, Ricky, we bust out some Champions of Norath.
Was that
Wh-
PlayStation 2?
2? That was some couch co-op
Was that
shit right there.
the Minotaur?
No,
Was
that was
Gauntlet?
that was Gauntlet Dark Legacy. Dark Legends, Dark Legacy.
I don't
One
know
or the
if-
other. Gauntlet was great,
I remember
but
that
Champions of Norath was like the transition off
I
of that.
looked at the box and it was just the girl with like the sword
Yup.
across her face. I never got that far into Champions of Norath, but you guys.
Dude, we dropped a lot of hours into that. But even going back further, like to Phantasy Star Online, episodes 1 and 2 on good old GameCube.
Champions of Norath though just looks at this point just looks like, well, just play Diablo.
Well, that's what it was, and that's I went for like that was my transition. It was basically I ended up going to Diablo 2 and then 3. But no, like I'm a fan of going back.
Norath was that wasn't the one with the Valkyrie, was it?
You're still thinking of Gauntlet.
Well, this one level I'm looking at, I thought I recognized it, but I don't. I still don't. I remember the box though, because I had the box.
Yeah, no, I mean it's those grindy games for me. That's what does it. Like in my holiday season for gaming already started. Like I've been playing Diablo 3 again. It's one of those games where it's like, I'm just gonna grind. I just want to grind.
Well, I'm also going to be, because my sister's getting me a Switch. Yeah. I'm going to be super smashing it up.
There we
unlock
go.
All the characters.
Is that not the game of the season? Like I want to build up, but you're right.
This is the game of the break. Like most people, if you got a Switch, super smash it up, man.
Yeah, I'm really counting on my brother-in-law to bring his Switch back from college. I was telling that to Dave. That I'm like, I'm really hope because he's gonna be at this party.
You just text them, say, hey.
Make sure it's there.
Bring it back.
He texted me the other day being like, "Hey, Joker from Persona is in Smash Bros." And I'm like, "Awesome, good thing I know somebody that's got a Switch."
Yeah.
And I'm like, maybe that was just a little too subtle.
No,
maybe I need to be
blatant.
a little blatant. Like, you better have brought this with you.
So new Super Smash Bros. Lost this last week, and it is a ton of fun. The storyline, you can speed run it in about 12 hours, but like. In all honesty, it's probably like a 20, 25 hour kind of thing for casual gamers. But it's Super Smash. It's all about the multiplayer. And good lord, do they knock it out of the park. It's a game that, all credit due, has been brought into my workplace. And we just decided that, you know what, it's a Friday.
We're just going to play.
We're going to get a projector on and we're going to spin up. And we had people gathered around in a crowd trading off games, multiple people bringing in their Switch controllers. It's a fun party game. It gets everyone involved. And, like, there's never a time when you've got, like, more than 3 people in a room. You're like, you guys want to just play Smash?
You know
the answer is yeah.
You know what I would love in Super Smash Bros? Is if they brought in the WWE Royal Rumble.
Oh, my God.
Like, if they did that classic, like, every 2 minutes, someone else is coming in.
New entrant.
But how would you do that?
They
Amazingly.
just pipe down.
Yeah.
No. I mean, like, let's say you're in it and you're playing. You want to play one of those by yourself. Would you automatically be the first contestant?
It would probably be similar to like those classic, N64 is what I'm thinking of, ones where you could pick when you went in. Well, you could choose to go in later if you wanted to cheat, or you could be right at the beginning.
Well, I would say it'd be at random.
Or you could do it in the sense of like, I'm pretty sure one of these games had it where if you get knocked out, you're just the next one that comes back in.
Okay.
That'd be so awesome.
I think it'd be fun.
I love that.
I think that would actually be a really fun idea, Mark. Like having that, like I love WWE on one part, so it's a marriage of two things that are entertaining to me.
By God, Kirby sucked him up. By God.
Yeah.
JR in there announcing.
JR announcing.
They
Super
just
Smash.
start playing whatever
That man
music
has
from
a
that
family.
game. That'd be so great. Play whatever music from that game, and there they come down.
That'd be dope.
Bloop, 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 bloop.
So great. Not only is the single player really good in that game, but the multiplayer, it's the party mode. And it's the holiday season. People are coming over.
Yep.
You don't want to get that like anti-social person thing because I've done it to my family where they're like, yeah, come on, like everybody's showing up for the family party, and I'm like, I'll be up in a couple. And I was like playing like Lord of the Rings, the 2 towers in my basement.
Yeah, I would always be when they got there, I was there. Then after a while, it's
just kind of slink
well,
out.
After a while, it's like, all right, dinner's over. They're having a conversation, and I slink away. And I'm playing downstairs, and then my cousin Karen would just come down. Hey, what are you doing? Nothing. Mind if I join you? Sure.
That excitement always was the fact that you'd get this game, and this is back when they came in with instruction manuals. So you take the instruction manual with you if you're going somewhere for a party, and then you're just reading the instruction manual,
down the way.
Get excited on the way back, so then you can start playing it.
Oh my God, yeah. That was the worst when you got a game and you had to go to another relative's house for Christmas or whatever event it was for the holiday season, and it's just like the whole time you're there, you're just thinking, I can't wait to go home and play. I just can't wait. And like as a kid, like you're selfish as hell. You don't care about the people in your family.
Oh, yeah.
You're like, look, I see you guys whenever.
I
want to
presents.
Go.
I can see you guys whenever.
I got my own stuff I want to do today. But no, like I think Smash at the end of the day is just the ultimate game for the holidays because it gets everybody involved. It gets the people going.
Thank you.
I knew it.
Thank you.
And that's the thing.
I only danced to one song only. And that's My Hump by the Black Eyed Peas.
Yeah. It's one of those things where I just think that game, is something special because it's a party game, but also they for the first time in a while put some real effort into single player and the way you have to grind out the gameplay and earn the other characters. It's really cool. It's a great marriage of like new single player, new party game, and everybody loves to play it. It's something that you can pick up with no skill level and still have fun. Like I got rolled like 4 times in a row because this is the first time I've played a game for Smash in years. And I was like, I got rolled, and I was still like, all right, that was fun. Like I did some cool stuff there that I can appreciate. Like I didn't know what I was doing, but I just did it. Yeah. So I think that caps off. Like I love going back and old grinding, but it's the holiday season. You're gonna be with family. You're gonna be with friends. You try to be festive and you play together.
So the moral of the story
bring it together.
Is go buy yourself a Switch right now.
And
buy Smash Bros.
Buy Smash Bros. Because everybody will love to play it with you.
Right, it came out a week ago, so stores probably have new copies.
They do. Yeah. Confirmed. Was at Best Buy.
Yeah, they got their copies refilled.
Who actually goes to stores? Just Amazon.
Amazon.
I'll get it.
It shows up the day early. Or
I can't do that.
Really?
I can't do that because this is, and I might have mentioned on this podcast, but it was the reason why I don't buy games on Amazon that much. If it's like a pre-order or you want to get on that day, because so waiting to play Red Dead Redemption, the first Red Dead Redemption.
Yep.
And all my friends got it, and I ordered it on Amazon. I'm like, all right, I know it'll get here by like noon. I'll be a little late, but that's all right. Noon, 1, 2, 3.
Oh, no.
Everybody's playing it. This game comes at like 6 o'clock at night.
Oh.
And I'm like, finally got it. All my friends have been having a great time playing it, and I'm just waiting to finally get in. So yeah,
that's brutal. See, like
do it.
Amazon these days, I feel like they have more propensity to deliver the day before, like the night before.
Best Buy does that because my PlayStation Pro for Spider-Man, I was playing it a day before.
See?
The night before I got it, and I was like, oh man.
Because usually the launch events are at like 10 o'clock at night now.
Yeah.
So I think Amazon's gotten better at that. So I hope you don't ban it forever from your life because there's
easy to go
there's
pick
a convenience.
It's just easy to go pick it up.
All right, maybe. I really want to go back and play old games now.
That's all you want to
like
do?
I've convinced myself. Like Phantasy Star.
There you go.
Let's go grind out 80 hours of Phantasy Star again.
Man.
Let's go play Borderlands 2. Let's do something.
My Wii ate that Phantasy Star. You
It
don't remember
ate it?
that? Where so I had an original Wii.
Yeah.
It would not eject it, and I didn't want to. I didn't want to lose the game, so I had to Jaws
Pry
of
open.
Life break my Wii open
Yeah.
to get that disc out.
Dedication.
Kind of like when my PlayStation 3 blew up.
It was a great game though.
My PlayStation 3 blew up, and I had to take everything apart to get NBA 2K out of it because it was stuck inside.
2K wouldn't have done that.
Yeah, you probably could have just bought it.
Well, at the time, it was so far away from the next 2K.
Oh,
So I
early in
had
season.
to, and then that's how I got my thinner PS3 because originally I had the thick one.
Oh yeah, man, the one the bump, the hump.
Because the battery
Yeah, that's
inside
good.
of it exploded, and there was that like it's not even alkaline, but I'm gonna say alkaline.
Yeah.
The alkaline like foam was everywhere on the inside.
Gross.
The battery
Yikes.
just went poof.
Yikes. That'll do it for us this week. I'd love to know what your guys' favorite game is to play over the holidays because it is a wonderful season of marathon games. Whether you're going through a series of games like Mark, you're going classic like Ricky, or you're going multiplayer and classic like me because I can't make up my mind. I'm indecisive. I'm doing
Dave's
a
like
little
we
bit of
talk
everything.
single player
Yeah.
games, but I love multiplayer.
I
games.
love. Well, it's your Super Smash. Was there something special
Yeah.
about it than Borderlands? I've been crushing because of Borderlands 3. I'm just waiting. I mean, Kingdom Hearts. It's a great time to replay Kingdom Hearts series as Kingdom Hearts 3 is going to be dropping in late January.
Play 'em
so
all.
play them all. If you got the time, absolutely do it up. But let us know what you think. Let us know what you guys like to play. And thank you again so much for the support. Check us out on iTunes. Check us out on Patreon. Love you so much. See you next week.